Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Biohazard, Real Survival. In the last episode, Alpha Team members Jill Valentine and Barry Burton were busy searching the first floor of the mansion in search of their missing companions, Chris Redfield and STARS Captain Albert Wesker, both of whom have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. To make matters worse, Bravo team member Kenneth Sullivan was last seen being devoured rather gruesomely by a deformed, ghoulish human, although, for lack of a better term, zombie is an appropriate term as any, and he wasn't the only one, even though Barry killed him by blowing his head off with his trustworthy Magnum revolver. He was not the only zombie in the mansion. There are many more besides, and not to mention the fact that the two of the dogs that chased the stars into the mansion to begin with have also broken through. We are currently in one of the safe rooms, well, the only few safe havens in the mansion, but we cannot stay here. As to our possible destination, Barry Burton did say that if something happened we were to report back in the main hall. Very elaborate portrait here. Wish I had time to enjoy these pictures. Unfortunately we do not. Time is severely of the essence. Feeling like it's a good idea to check on Barry, because Brad Vickers, aka Chicken Heart, is currently flying around in the sky with his helicopter, after fleeing like a complete coward. Back through this narrow corridor, and back to the main hall, I guess. Though we're going to have to go through that corridor with dogs. We have 38 bullets, which kind of counts for something right now, but trust me, that number is actually pretty woeful. Now if we play this smart and quickly dodge past you, we can, a bit of slowdown there. I entirely apologize, because Bandicam is doing something completely useless. Don't know why it's slowing down there. I always tend to blame Bandicam. It's usually the thing that's causing slowdown. With that said, I actually managed to make it through the dogs unscathed. Didn't have to use the first aid spray. We're back in the art room, and now we are back in the main hall of the mansion. Shame there isn't an item box here. Well, we're back in the main foyer, and doesn't seem that Barry is here. Doesn't appear to be waiting for us up the stairs. Could he be lounging around behind the... No, he's not here, and he is not there. So he is not hiding behind the stairs. Maybe he did go back into the dining room. So we should probably go and search for him there. Unless he himself has vanished as well, which would make him the third Alpha Team member to disappear. It's a rather elaborate looking grandfather clock there. Barry isn't here, looking at the blood on the floor, which may or may not be Chris's blood. I seriously doubt that it is. I seriously doubt it. And more sound glitches, unfortunately. Once again, I apologize. Back in the room where Kenneth met his grisly end. He's Kenneth from the STARS Bravo team. Now he's become a mere shadow of his former self. Well, I would say rest in peace, but you died rather horrifically. But you do have 2 magazines or clips of Beretta ammo, which brings our total up to 60. So we have 68 bullets, which is definitely better than 30. And there's a portrait of this very mansion in this rather quaint sitting room there, and the carpeting looks amazing. And it's ominously quiet outside. And there is Kenneth's decapitated head, which was omitted in the localized scene showing the very first zombie. But Barry is not here. We need to find him post-haste. It's locked from the inside. Can't go that way, but it appears there's another couple of doors down here. There's a... can use a lockpick here, but this door is locked. Now I would go into that room, but on account of it being locked, I don't think that Barry could get in there, given the fact that he gave us the very lockpick that we used to unlock that door just now. So it's safe to say that Barry is not here on the first floor. Where then did he disappear to, I wonder? Rather ominous. Basically means as if he's disappeared, we are essentially on our own. Which would make the situation even more dire than it already is. Well, there's nothing more we can do, but head upstairs and try to get our bearings. And doesn't seem like he's hiding at the moment. There appears to be a replica of Leonardo da Vinci's famous Mona Lisa painting. Of course it wouldn't be the real one, because the real one is kept in the Louvre Museum in Paris, I believe. Paris, France. And Barry is not here whatsoever. Nowhere to be found. And there's another door over here, and a painting that I don't recognize. It looks a bit faded. Let me just check the map briefly of the second floor. Well, there appears to be 3 doors on the second floor balcony. The door leading to the dining room, and 2 doors on the east side of the mansion. Might check out this one here, because if we can actually see, there might be a balcony at the front. If we can see outside, then we might be able to get a better view of our surroundings. But this ominous tension is making me feel uneasy, and there appears to be something on the ground. Spots of blood are here and there. Seems like something rather tragic happened in here, and there's blood on the wall as well. I hope this blood isn't for my teammates. It is a very forlorn hope there, Jill. But there is a door here. Let us go through it and see what awaits us on the other side. Oh,
Jill!
Barry.
Don't scare me.
That's what I was going to say.
Indeed.
Aren't you supposed to be going over the first floor, Barry?
Yeah, you're right. But just take a look at this.
Seems like Barry is... oh.
It's Forrest. Oh my God.
Oh dear.
It's awful.
I'm going to find out what caused Forrest's death. It looks like he was killed by a crow or something. Can you look around the first floor, Jill?
Oh. Okay.
Hey, Jill. This must have been Forrest's. You don't have a weapon. Take this with you.
We got the bazooka, or the grenade launcher.
I can't believe.
So another member of the STARS Bravo team has met an unfortunate end. This time, Forrest Spire, who was, I believe, if memory serves, Bravo team's marksman. Basically is almost as good as Chris Redfield. But he also had his trusty weapon outside of a sniper rifle was the bazooka or grenade launcher that Barry Burton gave to us right now. Two things to take from that situation. Barry's remark that we don't have a weapon, well, we do in the form of the Beretta, although in hindsight the Beretta, when compared to the bazooka, is fairly laughable. And also second, Barry Burton's assertion that he is going to find out whatever caused Forrest's death only to answer his own question less than 5 seconds upon examining his corpse. Yeah, that's a real astute observation of you there, Barry. But we now have the bazooka, and Barry Burton is mourning the loss of another comrade. And over there yonder on the horizon is the heavily wooded forest, combing the Arklay Mountains and the dark, ominous sky beyond. Some rather poignant, actually, but that silence also means that there is no sign of Brad Vickers or his helicopter around here. And so another fellow member falls by the wayside, which is rather unfortunate. Barry did say to check out the first floor, so we could actually probably go downstairs and search that room that we unlocked with the lockpick. See what's inside there, just to we haven't quite finished our sweep of the east side of the mansion, but now that we have slightly more robust firepower, actually, if we examine the bazooka, we should be able to tell what type of ammo it has. Explosive rounds loaded, of which there are 6 of them. We want to hold on to those as soon as possible, or as much as possible, I should say. Because the grenade launcher is indeed very, very invaluable. So indeed, there are dinner utensils on the table. A dusty-looking grandfather clock, ticking away into the night. Well, still no sign of Chris and Wesker, and yeah, we can't get in there. So the only thing we can do at this point is to check the door down here before finishing up our sweep of the first floor. This appears to be a fairly elaborate bar room with quite a few, with a nice looking bar area and appears to be stacks of wine and alcoholic beverages, along with a fine grand piano here. Painting on the wall, portrait on the wall, but Jill can't examine it, and appears to be something over here that's there's a shelf in the way. Would somebody put a shelf in front of another shelf? That's kind of redundant, isn't it? Well, no matter, we'll have to move it to the side and see what's behind it. Will you take the music notes? Indeed we shall, and we shall peruse these music notes. The title is Moonlight Sonata. Indeed, the title of Moonlight is on the front cover of these music notes. Famous composition of Ludwig van Beethoven, classical pianist extraordinaire. Let's see if we can play this. We already know that it's Moonlight Sonata. Lo and behold, playing that particular melody opens up a hidden passage. Or as H.G. Bailey would say, a secret passage. I can't actually do the voice justice. But there's a statue of the famous composer himself, Ludwig van Beethoven. Will you take the gold emblem? And removal of the gold emblem appears to close the passage again, thus sealing us in here, unfortunately. So it begs the question, does putting it back... Indeed it does. Indeed, it raises the hidden passage again. So we can't take this with us, because doing so will trap us in this room. However, we have... been through an area where we've seen another emblem, which was not golden. And that was the dining room above the fireplace where the blood was. There was a reason I didn't take that, and well, that reason was it would have been a waste of inventory space, because even though Jill has 8 inventory slots, we're going to be probably carrying a lot of items with us, especially when it comes to real survival. Don't walk into that pillar there, Jill. Indeed, we want to take this emblem, which appears to be made of wood as opposed to gold. It's the hollow that an emblem was in, and it's a shame we can't actually take either of these swords, although in hindsight rapiers are probably a bad weapon to use against zombie ghouls and dogs, to say the least. But we have the substitute for the gold emblem. This is one of the mansion's many puzzles, believe it or not, adventurers. There are a lot of obscure and elaborate puzzles throughout Biohazard, and this is the first of many. We will remove the gold emblem and replace it with its counterpart. And the puzzle seems to accept this with no complaints whatsoever, given the fact that the wooden emblem probably wouldn't weigh as much as the gold emblem, although the gold emblem is probably gold paint, as opposed to actually being a solid gold emblem. I imagine it'd be quite weighty otherwise. Nevertheless, we have the golden emblem in our possession, which we can put into the hollow where the wooden emblem was, basically. And see what happens once we do. Putting the emblem there means the clock has been moved and will no longer tick again, but it appears to be secret compartment behind it, and a mansion key, which I'm going to examine post-haste. Nothing important. However, we take a closer look at it and turn it around. Carving of a shield. Shield key. Well, we have a key. It's just not the key we want, because we want key to the armor doors, which we don't have for the time being. So I guess that's all we can do, or we can explore in the first floor of the mansion. On that side anyway, but well, we could go back through the corridor with the dogs and go back into that room where the zombies were. I wonder. I really do wonder, because there are actually quite a few other areas we can currently explore in the mansion at present. So, or perhaps we could actually, wonder if it'd be better exploring the floor upstairs. I wonder. Forgiveness for me taking up so much of your time checking the map, but I want to be sure of where I'm trying to get to. Committing to a possible decision. Might as well going through the second floor, I guess. And this music is just as ominous as it was 20 years ago. There's certainly no doubt about it. Ooh, there's a dog right there, and I ran straight into him. Serpentine. Serpentine, as the Niska would say. And there's the other dog. Ooh, that was a less than successful second time round. But Jill is fine for the moment. Surprisingly enough, because yeah, those attacks can really do some serious damage. But what I was planning on doing is taking out these zombies in here with a trusty handgun. I appear to have shot off his arm. There is the sound of a second zombie over there. Fortunately, Jill is ooh. You gone? Now you are. Jill reloading there in real time, which is very handy. But we took out both of those zombies with relative ease. And this door is locked by a carving of a helmet. Before we go in that room, I want to check what's behind here, just in case. The sound of cicadas means that we are outside. The sound of clacking means that we are in danger. Lo and behold, there is a dog. One dog that we can actually deal with 3 well-placed bullets, no less. A bit of real talk here for a second is that the way that the dogs are programmed in Biohazard, as you just saw, shooting them, tends to cause them to fall over rather hilariously, effectively stun locking them. You can do this with multiple dogs, but when you're focusing on one dog, the other dogs, if they run circles around you, will generally try and eat your face off. Now, there is a door over here that we cannot open, and a plate next to it. When the sun sets in the west and the moon rises in the east, stars will begin to appear in the sky and wind will blow towards the ground. Then the gate of new life will open. We have another puzzle ahead of us. We need 4 specific items, similar to the emblems that we need to actually open that door. Something tells me that opening that door is going to be very important and could very well lead us outside of the mansion. But we can't go outside just yet, and in all honesty, why would we want to go outside at the time being? Which is rather unfortunate. But I think I'm actually going to head back to the save room for the time being, and save my progress with conveniently placed ink ribbons. I have 4 of them at least, so at this point it won't hurt to use one of them to want to make sure I have enough of them to be sure. So I'm going to make a save for the time being. We use the ink ribbon? Yes, we shall. First save of the Let's Play. And just ignore this. That was one of my previous off-screen saves, but this is the first official save here in this episode. And I'm going to conveniently place this ink ribbon, or these ink ribbons, back into the item box, and head back outside. Well, at least now, if Jill perishes for whatever reason, we now have a starting point, an anchor point to go back to. So now we're going to go back into this corridor. It is a corridor and not a room, so to speak, because it doesn't really have anything of note. And I believe that this is a good time to end this particular episode of Let's Play Biohazard Real Survival. And when we return, adventurers, we shall head into the door currently to Jill's left and see what lies beyond. As always, until next we meet.